I was introduced to Ouran High School long before the show was even licensed. Now, so you guys know, you don't want to do that. You don't want to fall in love with a show before there's ever any chance that you're going to get to be in the show. That's a bad idea. And Caitlin Glass, actually, sent me a CD of the first 8 episodes, and she was like, you have to watch this show. It's the funniest, sweetest show, and there's this character, it's you. I mean, it's so you. And I was like, well, yeah, I gotta see what this character's like, right? So she sends me this CD, and here's like the first 8 episodes of Ouran, and I'm watching it, and I'm watching Tamaki being all smooth and romantic, and I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I can see how you would see this as me. Yeah. And then, next thing you know, he's bundled up in a ball in the corner, like crying and weeping, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute! So, I know, right? So, but suffice it to say, I fell in love with Tamaki. I wanted to play that role so bad, and I didn't even know who else was in the show. I just wanted to play Tamaki. He even plays the piano. So when it came time, when Funimation got the license for the show, and suddenly it was like, oh my gosh, it's actually possible. It's actually within reach that I could conceivably audition for the show and actually get to play this character. But then, like, 50 or 60 other people auditioned for that show. So when I went into audition, I walked into the studio, and Caitlin was in there, because she was directing. Caitlin was in there, and she's like, well, we know who you want to audition for. And I was like, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm going to go audition now for Tamaki. And I went into the booth, and I did my little Tamaki audition. And as soon as I was done, I was expecting her to go, that was perfect. You know what she said? Okay, you want to audition for anyone else? I felt horrible. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get to play. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll audition for one of the twins. So I auditioned for one of the twins, and then I auditioned for Kyoya. And then I left with my heart squashed. No, it wasn't squashed, I'm just being dramatic. But I left like, oh my gosh, ugh. And so then I went off to this convention, and that weekend, Caitlin called me and she said, congratulations, you'll be playing Tamaki. And I'm like, yes, thank you, God. So you know what, I loved every minute of that show. Every show I've ever recorded, I didn't really realize what a great show it was until after the show was over. And you kind of turn around and you reflect on it, like, wow, that was really a good show. Ouran was the first show that, as I was recording it, I'm like, this is really a good show. And I savored every line. Like, I would record a line as Tamaki, I would be like, what if I let you drink it from my mouth? And Kate would go, okay, that's great. Let's go to the next line. I'd go, oh, can I do it again? Just for fun. Or, I just was looking for any reason to make the experience last as long as it could. So I loved that show, and I can't imagine being anybody else in the show. Plus, everyone else was perfect. The rest of that cast was perfect. Caitlin cast that show so well. So, yes? To Kyoya? I can already tell I'm going to be spent by tomorrow. Yes. Yes, Yuki.
Tell us a cop story.
A cop story? Oh my gosh. Everyone else is like, whoa. How many of you know that I used to be a police officer? Yeah, I was a cop on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. And, well, I'll tell you a cop story. Okay. I'll tell you like okay, I'll give you your choice and vote by a show of hands. Do you want to hear the one that was the most serious case that I ever was a part of, or do you want to hear the one about the chick on PCP that attacked me? Okay, by your response, I'm just going to go with the second one, all right? So here's the thing. Oh, God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Tequila. That's water. There's another rumor right there. Vic was drinking right in front of us. He was totally smashed. He was stumbling around, and he was like kissing all the guys in the front row. This guy here goes, what about the guys in the second row? That was awesome. That was acutely on me. Okay, I was in my car, in my uniform, in my patrol car, touring the streets of Ocean City, Maryland, on my patrol, and I got a radio call, dispatching me to a disturbance at a particular location. It was respond to 36th Avenue and Coastal Highway for a disturbance with a young lady, with a female. So I drive up, and it's like a house that sits like right on the highway. And I drive up, and I get out, and some people are standing on the street, and they're like, there's this girl in this house, and she's whacked out. I don't know what is going on, but she's really acting weird. She's threatening people and everything. And suddenly, the door flies open, and this chick comes running out. And I mean, like, she couldn't be probably, I'm gonna guess, maybe early to middle 20s, okay? She was wearing like one of those little beach dresses over your bathing suit, right? Barefoot, and she looks like scary. She's like, her eyes are like big and wide. She's kind of like got this crazed look, and she comes running out. And she comes running up to me, and she's like, you gotta help me, they're trying to kill me. You gotta help me, they're trying to kill me. And I got a freaking gun right here. So I don't want to be too close to this girl, because I don't know what the deal is. So I kind of put my hand out, and I go, you know, hold on a second, sweetie. And I took a step back, and I'm like, now, who's trying to hurt you? And all of a sudden, she looks down at my gun, and she goes, gun. And she lunges at my gun. And I knocked her arm away, and I went, stay there. And she came charging at me. I mean, like, you know, like a glomp? She came running. My first glomp, I wasn't even in anime yet. She comes running at me, and she's doing this, screaming like a psycho, trying to get my gun, my pistol, my Colt 357. Beautiful gun, beautiful gun. Anyway, sorry, ADD. Anyway, so she's going at it. And this time, I got my hands full here. This time, I grabbed her by the shoulders and shoved her back. And she went flying back about 10 feet. And I said, stay there. Stay there. And it's like she didn't hear me. And she came charging at me again. Ah! Just screaming. I mean, I was scared, you guys. You don't expect it. You know what I mean? It's like out of nowhere. It happened so fast. And so she's coming at my gun again, and this time I knocked her arms away, and I grabbed her shoulders, and I shoved her so hard, she went down on her butt and bounced about 4 times, popped right back up, and came running at me again. I'm like, this chick is possessed. All right? I'm serious. So the whole time, I've got my microphone that's connected to my radios on my belt, right? But there's a mic that comes up here, so you can talk right by your chin. And I'm trying to call for backup. So I'm literally throwing her and then trying to call for backup before she gets to me again. And I let the thing go and throw her again. And finally one time I pulled out my nightstick. And I'm like, I mean, this is serious, you guys. If she got that gun, who knows, right? So I pulled this nightstick out, and I'm like, stay there, I don't want to have to hurt you. And she came running at me, and I went, whack! Right across her thigh. Didn't even faze her.